Audio Jungle.
Breaking news! A new case of cloning has come up from the National Human Genome Research Institute. Roger McGee, the scientist from Maryland, has come close to cloning a human being from the help of other scientists, and within this process has received so much scrutiny for his upbringings. So what is cloning, you may ask? Here's my partner in crime for the details on cloning.
I'm here in Maryland, home of the NHGRI, which is making its way into the history books for cloning its first ever human. Now to answer your question. Cloning is the creation of the genetically identical replicas of an individual. There's two ways of doing this. One is an artificial embryo twinning, which starts out when the embryo first separates into two different individual cells.
The second way is somatic cell nuclear transfer. This type of cloning is how Dolly the sheep was made, who was the first organism ever to be created over cloning. A somatic cell is basically any cell in the body other than reproductive cells. The nuclear part of this part of cloning is the nucleus, which holds all the cell's DNA, like any other cell. Then comes the interesting part when you take a somatic cell from the organism when you're cloning. Then they take the nucleus and all of its DNA and transfer it into the egg cell. Finally, after all of that and a couple of changes, the egg with its new nucleus is acting just like a new fertilized egg normally. Then that egg is implanted into its substitute mom, and then it grows like a normal fetus would.
People believe that cloning could be good for us in the future, but other people believe that cloning could just be bad for us in the future. Some pros, though, is that the parents with the lack of eggs and sperm can create children that are genetically related to them. Also, another good pro is that the same-sex couples can have children, and there will be no more endangered animals just because we can clone them, and there will be no more animals going extinct. Some cons, though, is that the lack of individuality of the cloned person. A child created would have to live in the shadow of the donor that he was created from, and 95% of the animals cloned have failed.
Finally, after all this information that has blown your mind, just because we can clone, should we